What would you do if the person you love asked you to choose between their comfort and your safety? Between loyalty and survival? Between a relationship and a roof over your head? This is one of those situations where there is no easy answer, only real-world consequences. I live in a very high cost of living state, where most one-bedroom apartments cost over $3,000 a month. I've been searching nonstop, but nothing fits my budget. I have 2 weeks to move out, or I'll be homeless. Before I met my boyfriend, I was already dealing with housing instability. There were times I slept on the streets or bounced between cheap hotels. Because of that, the thought of being without housing again deeply affects me, both emotionally and mentally. A close friend offered me a solution. He has a 2-bedroom apartment and offered to rent me one of the rooms for a very low cost. He's a male friend. He's rarely home, maybe a couple of times a week, and sometimes he's gone even longer. He's never flirted with me, never crossed any boundaries, and we barely talk most days. For the most part, it would feel like living alone. He mainly offered because he feels like he's paying for an apartment he's barely in and wanted help lowering his rent. My boyfriend is extremely upset about this. He told me he would rather I stay in a shelter than live with another man. The issue is, I've stayed in a shelter before, and I was sexually assaulted there. Because of that experience, staying in a shelter is not an option for me. He also said that this situation could potentially split us up. I'm not sure if he meant that he would leave me immediately if I moved in, or if he thinks it would eventually lead to a breakup. But either way, it feels like an ultimatum. I do understand why he feels uncomfortable. I genuinely do. I know living with a male friend can raise concerns, and I don't want to dismiss his feelings. But at the same time, I feel like my safety and the reality of my situation aren't being fully considered. Right now, my only real options are moving into this apartment or ending up back on the streets. I'm not choosing convenience. I'm choosing survival. TLDR*, I have 2 weeks to avoid homelessness. A male friend offered me a cheap room, but my boyfriend is upset and says he'd rather I go to a shelter, even though I was assaulted in one before. He says this could lead to the end of our relationship. Update*, I sent him a long message breaking up with him. I'm currently crying. I think this isn't about jealousy, it's about priorities. When someone minimizes your trauma and asks you to risk your safety to protect their comfort, the issue isn't trust, it's empathy. Relationships require compromise, but survival should never be negotiable. An ultimatum that ignores lived trauma isn't love. It's control disguised as concern. Breaking up hurts. Crying is natural. But choosing yourself, your safety, your stability, your future does not make you wrong. Sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that save us, even when they cost us someone we cared about. And sometimes, walking away is the bravest thing you can do.